Chat with him. I would think that as a guitar player, you're probably happier with this new Power Windows album than maybe the Signals album, which was out a few years ago, which was very keyboard-dominated.
Yeah.
There's more of a balance this time between the keyboards and the guitar, I think.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying about ups and downs with our records. With each record, we try different things, different approaches. With Signals, we wanted a different perspective. We wanted to bring the keyboards out a bit. We'd been working with the keyboards for quite a few years, and we felt that it was time to do that. But unfortunately, the guitar suffered. And looking back on that record, the guitar did suffer quite a bit, I think. On the plus side, I learned to be more sensitive to the rhythm section, to Neil and Geddy. And it opened up doors for me, even though it wasn't satisfying from a balance point of view. Grace Under Pressure, I think, was a reaction to Signals. The guitar came up
really
front,
did, yeah.
and it stayed up front for the whole record, and sort of kept everybody back.
Yeah.
But with this record, I think you're right. I think we've struck a good balance with all the instruments. I don't think any one instrument is lacking in its presence or in the perspective of the whole sound.
It's quite an ambitious album too, because you've got strings and a choir on there, I notice.
Yeah, well, for so many years we said, let's not do anything we can't reproduce live on stage. And for 10 studio albums, we stuck to that rule. This time around, we thought, let's not shortchange any of the songs. Let's develop them to their maximum and then worry about reproducing them later. And as it is, I think those fears were unfounded to begin with. I don't think we're going to have any problems with this record. And those small little details that may be missing can be made up for the energy of a live performance.
The arrangements on the last few Rush albums have been quite complex. Do you ever get lost on stage and play the wrong notes or just do completely the wrong thing at the wrong time?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Often. There are the days where your mind just sort of goes away and suddenly you turn around and you realize you're in front of all these people when a minute ago you were on a different planet somewhere. And that's scary. And occasionally we'll all get lost at the same time, and it's mayhem. It's just complete chaos for about 3 seconds, and then we fall back into the song for some unexplained reason. But it's a good laugh in the dressing room after the show.
I'm sure it is, but it's funny you saying that, because Rush have something of a reputation for being a very serious band who tend to scorn the kind of cliches of sex and drugs and rock and roll within the lifestyle. I mean, those things are available to you, but Rush tend not to get involved, it seems.
We're very serious about our music. We're serious about how we work and our quality. And we try very hard to do the best that we possibly can when we make a record and when we write our music. It is a serious thing for us. Believe me, we don't take ourselves very seriously. And we're no different than any of the viewers here tonight. It's an unfortunate reputation, I think, that we have that's stayed with us. But that's really the only thing it is. It's that we take what we do seriously. Music is very important to us, and we don't fool with it. Yeah. But on our free time, we are pretty good fools.
But there was a story a while back that you took a French teacher with you on the road while you were touring so you could learn the language, which is a very un-rock and roll thing to do after a show.
Yeah. Okay, well, some bands I know like to spend the afternoon after sound check before showtime drinking and going crazy or whatever. After so many years of touring, sitting around a dressing room waiting to go on, that's really boring, and you want to do something. There's not a lot you can do, and we thought, well, why don't we learn to speak French, a language, and from there we can learn to speak Chinese, and then Japanese. It was a big dream. So we called up the Berlitz schools, and they provided a teacher in all the major cities on the tour. And we took an hour and a half of French, which is a second language in Canada. And Neil has a home in Quebec, and the part of Quebec that he's in, it's 90% French. So it's a handy thing to have.
It means you can also speak to the audiences when you come and play in France.
Yeah,
well, when can we expect to see Rush, actually? Because you haven't played France, that's true. But when can we expect to see Rush come to Europe this time?
It's hard to say. We're only taking a couple of months at a time. In the past, we would look at a tour as being 8 months long, and we'd know exactly where we would be in 6 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 5 hours. But this time around, I think we're just going to take a couple of months at a time. Maybe the spring. That's the usual time we come over to Europe.
Okay, so you're starting in the States in December and maybe here next spring, so we'll look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.